1,000 years ago, superstition and the sword ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of gargoyles.
Everybody, what is up? My name is Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
Now today we're doing a review of Disney Gargoyles, published by Ravensburger Games and designed by Nate Heiss. Now this hit the shelves at Target just this past weekend, was a bit of a stealth release, but we first caught word of this game way back in February, and sure enough it came right on time.
Now, with all that being said, the sun is setting, so let's awaken this review. Gargoyles Awakening is a 2 to 5 player cooperative and competitive game where players take on the roles of Goliath, Hudson, Brooklyn, Broadway, Lexington, and Elisa.
What about Bronx?
We'll get to him. Players take on 4 scenarios: capturing the information discs, freeing Coldstone's mind, defeating Demona, and taking on 1 competitive mission where a player plays Xanatos and the Steel Clan against the other players. Each turn, they'll take actions: moving, gliding, attacking, playing cards with unique abilities, and using skills. And between each player, the villains will carry out their evil plots before you from a scenario-specific event deck. Once a certain number of nighttime cards have been drawn, players carry out a day phase, where villains get stronger moves and gargoyles have a chance to heal and refresh their decks. Players win by completing their objective and lose if a hero is defeated.
Alright, so first off, right off the bat, we've talked about games that have popular IP in them. We've talked about what makes them good, what makes them great games, and let's start off by saying that the thematic ties and the theming in this game is fantastic. The mechanics are truly inspired, and you can tell that the designer is a big fan of gargoyles.
Yeah, so Gargoyles, for those of you that don't know, is a popular TV show that came out in the 90s, 1994 to be exact, and it is a fantastic show. We actually binge watched it as a while ago. We knew this game was coming out, and go watch it. It's available on Disney Plus after you finish this review, of course.
Yes, watch us first.
Go hop over to Disney Plus and watch Gargoyles because it really does an amazing job to honor that show.
Okay, so let's dive deeper into theming. Each of these characters in this game have totally unique card decks and mechanics and skills on how those players work. So Goliath's your big bruiser. He can't go super far, but he can beat you up. Lexington is a utility character who can give other players extra actions. Broadway's a hugger. He just wants to heal you, which is great. Elisa, she can get around town really fast with her car, and she's the only ranged attacker for her main cards.
But if you watch the show, then we're missing someone. Bronx, who is their dog gargoyle as of sorts. He actually is in the card art of every single character, and I feel like this plays into the theming really well because he is kind of the sidekick of the show. Oh, yeah. And he aids all of the gargoyles and Elisa, giving Elisa around, taking her around town, and it makes a lot of sense that he would be with all of them because he's the only one that can't fly, so he's constantly being moved around by the other gargoyles.
The buildings, these awesome thematic 3D buildings that you have, they represent a bunch of buildings from the show. So Xanatos' tower and the TV studio. I was so excited when I saw that. And the clock tower.
So in this game, there are 4 unique missions. And when Jonathan was teaching me the rules to this game, I was like, this feels a lot like Horrifed. And it definitely is in that vein as far as player style. And I love Horrifed, so I did enjoy Gargoyles.
So the very first scenario that you start with, you're defeating Demona and Xanatos, and Coldstone's running around switching sides, and you try to get him on your side and defeat those villains. And once you're done with that, you move on to these other really fun scenarios, including a competitive one where one player plays Xanatos and the Steel Clan and the rest are fighting against them. For all of the scenarios, you have a unique scenario deck that has a bunch of fun cards with those characters and 6 characters to play with, which gives you a ton of replayability.
So let's move on to arts and components. So first, art. This art, as you've been seeing in the B-roll, is gorgeous. And I really love that it is all this unique art, and it definitely got Villainous vibes in the fact that it's all custom and you're definitely not screen grabs. And I feel like they definitely gave it a modern twist, and it definitely was modernized in the art style.
That's awesome.
We heard some people say, as far as the cards go, that they wish that had flavor text, but I would disagree. They always say pictures are worth 1,000 words, right? So I feel like the pictures are direct scenes from the TV show, and I know exactly why this character is doing this move based on that scene.
And talking about the 3D buildings, man, they are so cool, and it's really cool how they're used in the game, but they're a bit of a pain. So I am so meticulous when it comes to punching out punch boards, and I'm so careful, and I still tore them in like 3 places. And once I got them open, I still split some of the other things that are like used for connecting the pieces. So they're not the strongest components to begin with. And the other downside is they do not fit in the box completely constructed. So you can fit a bunch of the small buildings, they all fit, but you will have to deconstruct part of the clock tower and the whole Xanatos' tower. So every time you're gonna set that up, it takes you like 3 to 4 minutes to get everything all set up. And I'm a bit concerned that over time those are gonna get damaged and I don't know what's gonna happen to them. My Everdell tree from Everdell is like dying, it's like split so much.
Yeah, and I would say watching Jonathan put this game back in the box, he is a very meticulous person, so he like engineered his way into fitting this into the box, and I just don't think the average person like me is going to take the time to try and make this look beautiful and fit exactly in the box. Now, who is Gargoyles Awakening for? Well, first I'd like to say that when we go about judging a game, we always judge it based on who this game is for, meaning who the designers and the publishers designed it for. Now, I would consider us pretty seasoned gamers, and is Gargoyles the most complex game out there strategically? No. Is it a good game? Absolutely.
Now the game has a super streamlined, easy to learn set of rules, which is great because it's quick to teach and you're right to the punch and you're having fun. Now, was there room for some more complexity? Potentially around the heights of the buildings? I think absolutely. But there are cards in the games that say, you know, if you play this card while you're on a building, you get more strength. And you can also glide from buildings, which lets you fly further, which is super cool. But it's more of a binary, yes, no, I'm on a building kind of thing than a multi-level thing. We talked to the designer about this to actually get his thoughts on this and what he thinks. And it was clearly a conscious choice of where these mechanics were streamlined to make it perfect for its target audience, which is the target audience.
This game is currently, at the time of filming, priced at $29.99 over at Target. And to what you get in this game, I think that's an amazing price. With 4 scenarios, minis, stands, and beautiful art, all that together for $29.99, I think that's fantastic. And for the people that are going to be buying this game, families that grew up with Gargoyles, people that are binge watching it now, like groups of friends that want to play this, I think that's awesome and I think it will work perfectly.
And that's our thoughts on Gargoyles Awakening.
If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, click on that bell for notifications so you can know whenever we put out a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy playing!
Poor Emma.